All right, guys, welcome to another exciting episode of the Left Side View with Rahul and Amitabh. So, as scheduled, this is our review episode of the midweek matches. So, we had some interesting matches in the Champions League, in the Europa League, and also some league action in the Premier League. So, I think the best place would be to begin with the Champions League. Don't you agree, Amitabh?
Yes, so on Tuesday we had Bayern Munich against Salzburg. Now, Bayern came with some sort of an indifferent form in this match, but all the doubts, whatever they were laid to rest in 11-minute period by Lewandowski scoring a hat trick, and from there Bayern just blossomed and dominated a lot more. So the match ended 7-1 in favor of Bayern, and they go ahead, they win this fixture 8-2 on aggregate. A confidence boosting victory for Bayern, and let's see if this form can be translated in the home championship as well. Rahul?
Yeah, I think what we expected to happen in the first leg happened in the second leg. We expected Bayern to, give a reaction in the first leg, but maybe it took them a little longer. But yeah, in this second leg, I think it was all guns blazing. Yeah, we just saw different, like the beastly side of Bayern Munich. Yeah, like no one is really surprised that Bayern won the match. Maybe a little surprised with the manner or the scoreline, but yes, like nothing. Nobody, not didn't expect that they would eventually go through.
Yeah, and in the second match of the night, it was Liverpool facing off against Inter Milan. Liverpool had a 2-0 lead from San Siro. And the more I watched this match, the more I saw one team huffing and puffing, and the other team basically playing in third or fourth gear. I mean, it was so visible that Liverpool had a couple of gears to spare, and Inter Milan's team is an aging team, with Vidal and Sanchez, and um, they wanted to run so much and wanted to run so fast, but it seemed as if they're running on a treadmill, not really going anywhere. In the second half, Martinez scored a cracker of a goal that boiled the spirits of the Inter Milan side. Maybe they thought there is a place, way to come back in this, but unfortunately, 2 minutes after the goal, Sanchez was shown his second yellow card. Many debate that the first yellow card should have been a red card all by itself. But this time, I personally think he was a little unlucky, but when your studs are showing, the refs really don't have a lot of choice. So, yeah, once Inter were down to 10 men, Liverpool were in absolute cruise mode in this match. Yes, they have lost their first match in, I guess, 12, a series of 12 matches. So, again, it's just the fickle nature of the media, I guess. Before the match, there was a talk of, the quadruple happening. And as soon as they lose one match, it's all panic stations, but I think Liverpool really would not be bothered by the result as such. They just wanted to go through, and yeah, Rahul.
Yeah, I don't really think that again, like Salzburg, even we didn't expect Inter to do any wonders. So to my surprise, I think even winning 1-0 at Anfield is a great victory for them. We've already talked about how Italian teams perform, in European competitions, especially when it comes to teams that like to press, and which is the reason why even in this match I had a feeling that it would see the same way. Maybe they would try to hold on, and then instead of Inter, it would be Liverpool who would again, open the scoring. But yeah, like I said, that uh, at least like kudos to Inter. At least they didn't really capitulate like AC Milan or any other Italian team, except Juve, who are still in the competition. But yes, uh, kudos to Inter. But at the same time, yeah, like as soon as Sanchez was shown a second yellow, there was just no other option for them, because like that's what I think. Like even if they had somehow managed to score a second goal, they still would have lost. Because if the game had gone to extra time, it just would have been so difficult to play another 30 minutes down to 10 men. So yeah, eventually after the red card, there was only one winner. And yeah, there were even rumors of obviously that Lautaro Martinez and all the other players were also blaming Sanchez for being so reckless, because obviously it's like the whole tie swung in a way in Liverpool's favor if it already hadn't. But yes, like you just can't. blame anyone other than Sanchez in a way. At the same time, obviously, I mean, you could probably say that if they had a performance like this in them, then they probably should have, showed performance like this in the first leg at home at the San Siro. But yeah, I, I, I mean, kudos to them, to come to Anfield and still win 1-0. Not a lot of teams do that. Um, so yeah, I think again we can move on from this match.
Yeah, as far as the teammates fighting with each other due to an error is concerned, it brings us to the PSG Real Madrid game, a match that the whole of the footballing world was looking forward to. I mean, there was a great atmosphere at the Santiago Bernabeu, and the match lived up to the billing for once. So again, seeing the fitness of these teams, I again have this feeling that the English teams would be better off against teams from the continent, because somehow all of the teams, their squad is aging, and again, speed is lacking in all these teams. Even in this match, apart from Mbappe, I mean, who had Carvajal in his pocket. Carvajal was shown a yellow card in the second half. Actually, he should have been shown a yellow in the first as well. So he
Mm-hmm.
might as well have been off. There's no one, even when they scored the second goal and Modric, steered clear of a couple of defenders. Neymar was jogging behind him. He actually lost the ball, and even you could see that Modric is trying his best to run really hard, but it wasn't, a sprint as a sprint. So yeah, PSG opened the scoring here. Mbappe again scoring the first goal in the 39th minute, first half, and all looked lost. But Ancelotti, being the wizard that he is, he made three substitutions: Vasquez, Camavinga, and one more substitution. I forget that. So that really changed the match, and of course
Rodrigo.
the equalizer, Rodrigo, yeah. And the first goal obviously was Donnarumma hanging on to the ball for far too long. Again, there have been a lot of shouts, especially from the president of PSG now, that should have been given as a foul, but I think that was self-inflicted. He could have, passed the ball to anybody on God's green earth, and it would not have come to this. And again, something that we have been harping on for so long now, the mentality factor. You assemble a team, but where do you buy the team spirit? Where do you buy the fighting, mindset? And PSG just bottled it. They just bottled it. They had 30 minutes to go, even less than that, and they were through. I mean, they had done the hard part. They had a 2-0 lead, almost unassailable lead, 20-25 minutes to go, and they just bottled it. And that is when Real Madrid, their qualities came to the fore. Benzema, absolutely blinder of an hat trick. And yeah, as I said, the three players made, the substitutes made a lot of difference. Modric upped his game, and all the superstars of PSG, they were just non-existent when the team needed them the most. There has also been an opinion that Pochettino did not have the guts to take one of these two, I mean, maybe Neymar or Messi, one of them out and replace him with a more practical sort of a player who would have played for the team and what their targets were. But yeah, and after the match again, there was a lot of hue and cry. Donnarumma and Neymar are rumored to be, in a spat. Of course, the PSG officials, the president have already said they made a lot of, noise about the first goal, the equalizer. But I really don't think all this matters to Madrid. They just did what they had to, and almost came back from the brink. And if you actually look at it in totality, I don't think, even if there was a slight chance of Mbappe to stay at PSG after this performance, I certainly know which team he would like to play for. Rahul?
Yeah, already like when his name was taken, everyone the Bernabeu, including the Real Madrid supporters, were chanting, were clapping and all. So yeah, I mean, obviously, it's like the most. Uh, it's so. What do I say? Like everyone knows, right? Like that he's gonna join Real Madrid, even though it's not official. But then, yeah, like I think everyone would be really shocked if he didn't join Real Madrid at the end of the season. But yes, not talking about game. Obviously, since we're talking about Mbappe, there were already question marks because he took a knock. I think in injury a day before the match. There were question marks surrounding his fitness and whether he would play a part or if he would start. But then again, he was when the squad was named, he was his name was there, and then he started the match, and again opened the scoring. Uh, I think again Carvajal was like why he was tormenting Carvajal all the time. Like you said, probably should have been sent off earlier as well. Um, but yes, I think once it was 1-0 to PSG, I think it was all about mentality. It was all about which team wants it more, and I think it was all about individual brilliance. I think so. We talk about Benzema and his importance to this Real Madrid side. I think he's like the oldest player now to score a Champions League hat trick. I think he's overtaken another French player, Olivier Giroud, who scored that hat trick. I think last season against Sevilla. So yeah, I think that's the one. Other than that, I think yeah, as soon as I kind of do feel that like all I would say is that even if that goal had not been allowed, I probably would not have been surprised. I do kind of think that it should have been disallowed, but again, I don't really care at the same time. Uh, 1-1. So yeah, at the same time, because again, even if it was an incorrect decision, the other two goals are on PSG, right? I mean, at the same time, everyone's now talking about or thinking about, oh my God, that missed penalty in the first leg that Messi missed. There are so many things, right? I mean, PSG again, they had so many options to put this in the bag, but they couldn't. Uh, so, and again, it's like once they considered an equalizer, it's like they just stopped playing, and it's like they just didn't know what to do. I mean, it's like the game was there for the taking, and then and Carlo Ancelotti, we've talked about him before. He's like this Champions League specialist. So it's like he had that touch, fight us. That all the substitutions that he made, whatever he did, it just came to life. It just worked. And we've talked about this before as well. The experience that Real Madrid have, of winning this competition, the experience that these players have, a lot of these players have, Benzema, Modric, Cruz, Casemiro. Casemiro again wasn't really there, was suspended, but then even Camavinga, I think he gave a great account when he came on, kept the ball. Uh, Other than that, the defense was again so good in a way. So yeah, I think a great result for Real Madrid. And I do think maybe again it's Poch's immaturity or the fact that he's again not the right fit to manage club like this, not fit to manage a club with so many big personalities. Maybe for him it's great, when he's like at an underdog club, when he was at a club like Tottenham. But yeah, a lot of factors. I even for Poch, I don't see him staying beyond the season. Even I think Leonardo said that he's the manager at least for this season. Even he didn't say that he's going to be the manager forever or at least for next season. Even he said this season only. So let's see.
Yeah, I mean, not really much to add there, but yeah, I mean, I think with all the money that some of the teams have stumbled into, let's put it like that. Uh, Again, a little bit of blowing our own trumpet. I think we have managed that money in the best possible manner. Success was instantaneous in a very difficult league, and it's not easy. Champions League is not everybody's cup of tea, and I mean, I just not particularly, but I just feel bad for Neymar, someone like Neymar, because he wanted to get out of Messi's shadow when they did that great match over PSG 6-1. I guess that was the turning point for Neymar because Messi got all the plaudits, even if it was Neymar and Suarez who actually scored the goals. And right now it's back to the same thing because now Neymar is getting all the bringbacks and his attitude is being questioned the most by media. So yeah, I think we can move on from this match. The other match that night was Manchester City versus Sporting Lisbon. I mean, this match was as good as done in the first leg itself. City winning 5-0,
Mhm.
and they took this match with the caution that it required. They gave a lot of chance to non-first team members, and Zinchenko was actually the captain in this match. So the match ended in a nil-nil draw. A great chance for Guardiola to rotate and yeah, shout out to Scott Carson. He played well for City, the goalkeeper. Rahul?
Yep, yep. I mean, again, it was 5-0 already. Like they could have played the academy and still would have not lost 5-0, So, but still, looking at the side, I think it was still a great side in a way in terms of the players that they put out. I think a defender got the debut. I think because Kyle Walker was suspended. We all know, we all know how angry Guardiola has been, because of his 3-match ban. That he still keeps talking about it. But yes, I think 0-0. I guess like again, City didn't really have to get out of second gear. I guess if probably they needed another victory, then they would have, then the scoreline would have been pretty different. But yeah, they are in the next round. Sporting are out. If they were not out already, we can move on.
There were a couple of UEFA Europa League matches as well. Porto lost at home against Lyon, and Betis lost at home against Frankfurt. I think our predictions went haywire in both these matches.
Yeah,
Rahul?
yeah. So I think in the Porto match, Lucas Paqueta, I think, scored a goal. And the problem is that I think Paqueta also, I think even Porto were like a little unhappy at one of the decisions of the referee. I think they had an opportunity to equalize, but then they thought that they deserved a penalty because it was the same player, Lucas Paqueta, I think, who touched the ball in the penalty box, but that was not really given. So yeah, I still think it's an open game. I think Porto could still go back. Like they lost at home, but then they could still go back and they could win in France. Maybe the thing with Leon is that I think they're pretty down in the table in terms of League One. So yeah, maybe they're putting all their eggs in this basket. Whereas for Porto, I think their primary focus is still going to be in Liga Norte. I think they're top. So yeah, they want to continue where they are. In terms of the other match, I think yeah, maybe it's been their bad phase has actually come at the wrong time. Now they are on already I think a 2-game losing streak in the La Liga. They lost to Atletico as well. Maybe that has just in a way shattered the confidence of the entire team, and which is why I think in this match as well. I think first of all the goal that Kostic scored was a great goal from distance. In fact, I think they had an opportunity to win 3-1 if I'm not wrong. They actually had a penalty saved. So yeah, it could have been more for Real Betis. But since it's just 2-1 to uh, Frankfurt, I think we could say that there's still opportunity for Betis to come back into the match. But let's see what happens in the second leg.
Yeah, on Thursday, we had Sevilla against West Ham United. West Ham did spurn a lot of chances, especially early on. Antonio should have scored. He did not. Sevilla actually ended up winning. El Haddadi scoring in the 60th minute. So, yeah, I mean, the tie is still in the balance with the next match in London. Rahul, your views?
Yeah, we did kind of predict, that Sevilla would win. I think the fact that they've got just more uh, European uh, pedigree, I guess, than West Ham. I think they're the team to have won, I think, 4 or 5 Europa Leagues already when they used to be managed by Unai Emery. So yeah, even and we've already talked about before, like how Sevilla are much more of a cup team than they are a league team. So yes, I think mm, the inexperience from West Ham showed. Uh, I'm happy that Declan Rice was at least back, so wasn't really too ill. Didn't really miss more than one match. But again, it's just 1-0, so again, anything could happen in the second leg. Sevilla, again, I think even the goal that Sevilla scored, it was great. I think it probably seemed like a goal that they had practiced in training, wherein the ball was uh, whoever took the corner, they actually didn't really put it in the box. They actually gave it to one particular player, whereas everyone was hoping that the ball would come somewhere else. So yeah, I think it's a great team goal from Sevilla, and it's 1-0, so anything could happen.
Moving on to the next match, it was Atalanta against Bayern Leverkusen. Um, it was actually Bayern Leverkusen who started the scoring, and then Atalanta replied through Malinowski. This guy is on a good scoring record right now. and then two goals by Muriel. Diaby scored in the 63rd minute to make it 3-2. So that is where the tie is right now, 3-2. Atlanta holding a slight advantage with the next leg as away for them. Rahul?
Yeah, I think so. Arangues is like this Chilean midfielder who's always got this. He always scores some big goals for Leverkusen in European competitions. So he actually had an opportunity to score before he actually scored, but he missed that one. But yeah, I think it did look like it could not be. It was not going to be Atlanta side. But then as soon as Marinowski scored, being a Ukrainian, he was looked at the air, probably thinking about all those lives that have been lost. And then again, maybe it just inspired the whole team because right when Marinowski scored, just a minute later, Muriel scored, and again it was the same combination. This time, the provider scored the goal scorer, turned the goal scorer. So yeah, Marinowski and Muriel combination again to the fore for Atalanta. But then it looked like it would probably stay 2-1 when in the second half Muriel turned up again and increased the cushion to a two-goal cushion. But then in the end, like just before the game was about to end, I think Musa Diaby again scored a great goal, wherein it didn't really give Juan Musso, the Atlanta goalkeeper, much of a chance to save it. So yeah, I think it's again 3-2. It's still pretty open in the second leg. Like I think anyone could win it. And I think we want to talk about Atlanta's form when it comes to playing on the road. So let's see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, next match, Barcelona at home against Galatasaray. What happened here, Rahul? The match ended in a 0-0 draw.
Yeah. I think I think Galatasaray I think came. I mean, I was looking at the team sheet for Galatasaray. There were some players that I didn't even realize were still playing. I think Ryan Babel was there, Buffy Dimby Gomez, Patrick Van Aanholt. There were a lot of these players that wow. I mean, again, maybe it's just when you want it, when the team spirit is there. I think again, it was like you park the bus and you just go for it, and yeah. So I think that was their plan, to frustrate Barcelona. I think they succeeded, but at the same time, like we don't really have to go long way back. I mean, just the previous round when Barcelona were playing against Napoli, I think they had a 1-1 draw uh, at the Camp Nou, but then they went to Naples and they beat Napoli. So in my opinion, Barcelona are still the favorites. Obviously, like I'm pretty sure that you would agree with me, but at the same time, um, yeah, man, I still like it would be an upset. It would definitely be one of the biggest upsets of recent times if Galatasaray are able to knock out Barcelona.
Let's hope that upset does come true. Uh, then we had Rangers under Giovanni Van Bronckhorst at home to Red Star Belgrade. Rangers winning this match quite comfortably 3-0. I think they become the favorites for this tie now, even though the next leg is away. Rahul, your views?
Yeah, I think there are two players, for Rangers that just cannot stop scoring. I think one is their English right back captain James Tavernier. He scored again from the spot, and then again, I think Colombian winger Morelos. Again, he is someone who has been these two even tormented Dortmund before, like in the previous round when they knocked out Dortmund. So I think they were just continuing with what they like to do, what they love to do, and that is torment defenses. So yeah, I think 3-0. So it is again very difficult for the other team to come back into the match. Yeah, I think they're the favorites. Yeah, we can probably move on.
Yeah, and finally we have Braga against Monaco. Braga winning at home 2-0. Rahul?
Yeah, this was probably a bit of a surprise, I think. I mean, I think Monaco had a goal disallowed by VAR, but other than that, I think there were two goals. I think one was scored by Abel Ruiz, a Spanish striker. He scored, I think, his first goal in almost 2 years in a European competition, and then I think the other was scored by just before uh, the final whistle. It looked like it was going to be 1-0, but then all of a sudden they scored a second, and they go to Monaco now, hoping to win this tie and aggregate. It is going to be a little difficult, I think, for Monaco to now come back into the match. When when the score was still 1-0, they still had a chance. I mean, obviously they still have a chance. It's a little more difficult now.
Yeah, we move on to the Premier League now. With that, we have concluded our review of the European competition. So on Monday, Tottenham um, hosted Everton, and wow, the way Everton capitulated. I mean, Tottenham were the favorites, but again, just like we talked about PSG, the whole team just disintegrated, and that too from the first minute. Um, Tottenham started the scoring through an own goal by the defender, Everton's defender Keane, and then Son Heung-min, Kane scoring a couple of goals. And I mean, I remember the score was 3-0 at halftime, and I'm sure that Lampard would have, given so much of advice on how to approach the second half. And as soon as the second half starts, bang, there was the fourth one by Reguilon. Um, I mean, there were defenses doing mistakes. The goalkeeper, Pickford, did not cover himself in glory in the second goal, Son Heung-min's goal. So there were mistakes all around them. The only saving grace for Everton is that they have matches in hand. But during this match, I also looked at the fixture list, and Everton's fixture list is scary for them. I mean, yeah, for them. They have crucial matches against Newcastle and I guess Wolves coming
Chelsea
up.
as well. I think they've still got to play Chelsea at
Yeah,
the
and
biggest.
then they have the I mean so many teams in top 10, but these two teams, um, and again I think now Goodison becomes a huge factor for them to survive. They have to win their home matches, put in the kind of performance that they did against City. They definitely were unlucky not to come out of there with a point. And yeah, I mean, Lampard's metal as a coach will be put to severe test from now till the end of the season. Rahul?
Yeah, I mean, again, like we expected maybe a 2-1 or victory, but then 5-0 is like a mauling. This is like Lampard's heaviest defeat as a manager actually in all competitions. I remember the 4-0 defeat that he had against United, I think the first match in the Premier League in his in his charge of Chelsea. But yeah, this overtakes that as well. I mean, again, the defensive frailties have been there, like even Michael Keane, who has been so poor. But again, no point in talking about individuals. Um, I mean, like you said, that they could go down, but then they've got fixtures in hand. Again, it's like we'll talk about the Leeds match as well, but then it's like there are other teams as well who are just more desperate than Everton to go down. It's not about who wants to stay, it's more about who wants to go down. Um, so yeah, maybe what's going to happen is that Everton will continue to play like this because there are other teams as well who are below them and they're also playing like this. So maybe it won't really come to Everton going down. But yes, if it's about like form right now, then Everton are down there without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, for Everton's sake, yes, there are at least three more teams worse than Everton, but it is getting, too close for comfort for them. And it's all a matter of, a couple of matches. You can steer clear of the relegation zone. Okay, so coming on to the matches that happened yesterday, we start off with our match away at Norwich City. Now, before the match, there were a lot of sanctions against our club due to our owner Roman's supposed closeness with Putin. And I mean, it is difficult for me to objectively articulate my feelings about it because it will seem like I'm lashing out, but I mean, I absolutely don't understand this. First of all, there is no clear-cut um, proof that he's one of Putin's, closest, I don't know, business partners, whatever. But he seemed to have gained on some business deals. So all this is based on that hypothesis. And yeah, they have basically put so many restrictions on the club. I mean, far too many restrictions than we can, talk about here. And with basically in another transfer embargo, the sponsors, three, they have already suspended the sponsorship deal right now. Others are thinking about it. No clarification or clear cut communication has been made out public yet. and yeah, there is a limit to the amount we can spend on match days. No new tickets will be sold. Only the season ticket holders are allowed to watch the match in the stadium. And on top of it, if the sale has to happen, it has to happen before 31st of May.
Mhm.
There's also thought of a 9-point penalty. Somebody saying will be relegated. I mean, you are still buying gas from Russia. You are still buying petrol from Russia, and this is where you draw the line. I really don't understand what purpose will it solve if Chelsea's operations are even temporarily dissolved. I mean, how does it hurt Putin and how does it stop the war and what message are you trying to send across? Their own people are going to be unemployed at the end of the day. But yeah, this is the wisdom of our leaders, and maybe that is why the political climate is what it is. Our leaders are not really that wise, and under all these conditions, in this turmoil, we faced Norwich yesterday. Started the match like a house on fire, brought a 2-0 lead. Norwich did play well, at the start of the second half. They scored a goal through Pukki, a penalty, and it was a difficult, phase for us, but we struggled through it. We survived that, and then Howard scored the third that almost wrapped up the match. And read a quote by Tuchel: "As long as we have our football kit and we can go to the stadiums, we'll fight." And yeah, fight we do. Rahul?
Yeah, yeah, man, yeah. So Tuchel said, as long as we have enough shirts and a bus to drive to the games, we will be there and will compete hard. I mean, yeah. Seriously, like people that have lost jobs at Chelsea because of this. I mean, what is Chelsea? It's like Chelsea is funding the war. These are this is how you treat the European champions, the champions of the world.
And I mean, there are other owners who have been alleged to have committed far worse crimes, like the human rights
Well,
violations in Saudi Arabia and stuff like
that
that.
actually reminds me of our next match against Newcastle. Let's talk about Newcastle owners.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, great moral standing. Okay, and the more we talk about it, the more pissed off we'll be. Okay, so Newcastle it is, Rahul. Okay. Newcastle won the match against Southampton 2-1 away from home. Gimares scored his first goal in the league. A wonderful back heel. And yeah, this is the second loss for Southampton on the bounce. They lost to Aston Villa as well. So after playing well for a few weeks, uh, again, maybe they think that they have achieved the target for this season, and maybe, just maybe. And again, after the transfers, Newcastle have just been going upwards. So good on them. I hope they, you know, with all the clean money that they have, I hope they buy more good players and do well in the future. And yeah, nothing really more to add here. Rahul?
Yeah, I think yeah, it's like they're this on this upward spiral, whereas it's the opposite of Southampton. Uh, yeah, I think Southampton again, maybe their Premier League survival is secured, so they've taken their foot off the gas. But maybe because of two straight losses, maybe in the next match they will continue to get better. They will look to get better. Uh, but yeah, we can move on from this match.
Yeah, the next match was Wolves against the hapless Watford. Wolves winning the match 4-0. Jimenez, Hernandez, Podence, and Neves scoring for them. Um, I think we've been saying this about Norwich. I think we can add Watford to that list as well. They're as good as one. Rahul?
Yeah, I mean, just like seriously, man, losing 4-0. I think maybe we can just enjoy the goals. I think the final goal that Ruben Neves scored, what a cracker of a goal. I mean, even the Ben Foster's era, that Daniel Podence capitalized on. I think again, I mean, you can't make those errors if you're looking to survive in the Premier League or in any competition for that matter. Uh, I mean, yeah, just 4-0, like, again, yeah, like you said, they're as good as down. And I think them and Norwich, I think they're going back to the championship. I think again this time as well. I think Roy Hodgson is gonna fail.
Yeah, and finally we had Leeds against Villa. Coutinho playing out of his skin in England once again. Maybe he should not have. Yeah, I mean, we all of us are wiser after after the fact. So whatever. Coutinho playing well. 3-0 to Aston Villa. Jesse Marsch said that he did not expect such a disjointed performance. I don't know why he did not expect that, but okay. I think Leeds and Brentford, along with Burnley, one of these three teams will draw out. Everton will still be okay. I mean, Brentford won a match against Norwich recently, but even they have been dropping like a stone. So I think Watford and Norwich are gone, and one of these three teams, of course, miracles can happen. Rahul?
Yeah, I mean again maybe the reason why he said all this is because he thought that just losing 1-0 to Leicester would mean that they would perform better against Aston Villa at home. But I guess after their mini slump, even Aston Villa have been enjoying now. 4-0 victory over Southampton and now 3-0 victory over Leeds. Uh, so yeah, maybe a lot of these players were playing out of their skin because of Bielsa, but when even that stopped, so now maybe you have to wonder, like a lot of these players, right? Like they were actually in the championship with Leeds. So a lot of these players are actually championship level. It's only because of Bielsa's tactics, or maybe he just got that 200% out of them that last season. Maybe again, the first season they were new, but then this thing happens, with teams that have come from the championship, that the whole second season syndrome. So this season, everyone knows what they're going to be like, whereas they haven't really invested in a lot of the squad. I mean, even now they're playing without a striker. I think Daniel James, he's a winger playing as a false nine. I guess Rodrigo's his striker. He's playing as a midfielder. I don't know. Uh, so maybe yes, uh, Jesse Marsh. Maybe he didn't fully understand the gravity of the situation. Uh, at the same time, it's his first time as well managing the Premier League. So yeah, the only problem is time. Like, does he have enough time? For both these parties, the manager as well as the team, to come to an understanding. And also show that improvement in the performance. I'm not sure, but like we said, that there are teams which are worse than Leeds. So let's see. But yeah, not a good showing again.
Yes. So with that, we come to the end of this podcast, guys. Thank you so much for your time, and please do let us know what you think of our review, and any constructive feedback would be welcome. We'll be back with our preview episode of the weekend matches soon. Take care and bye bye.
All right, guys.